Thank you. You must have seen my speech, and you're trying to take me away from my speech.
All right.
Right. But I still want to come back to my speech
Sure.
because
No problem.
I prepared for it, and there are a few points I really want to share with the crowd. It's about emerging countries. I think we need to first go back to the history of a bit, the context of the emerging countries. Before the Second World War, when countries industrialized, it was always accompanied by colonization in order to acquire markets. But the Second World War put an end to that. And then competition became the game of the day. And then after the Cold War, which brought down the wall between the two markets, a real globalization started that enabled every country, big or small, to have an opportunity to grow. And China was really lucky to be at the doorstep of this remarkable growth. China was reforming its political and economic structure to be ready for takeoff. And at the same time, I think countries like India, Brazil, these countries all join in this growth. That's how come that so many countries have come into this rapid economic growth. And even in the recent financial crisis, these countries contributed so much to helping the world from falling down further. But we have to admit that there is this anxiety on both sides. For the developed countries, there's a concern that the newly emerging countries may not observe the original rules, or may not be ready to accept the existing structure. At the same time, the emerging countries are concerned that those developed countries may not accept them, or may impose on them. This I call double anxiety, and I don't think we can solve that anxiety, remove that anxiety in the short run. It will probably accompany us for a long period of time. Yes. And the problems I mentioned last night during my speech could very much be attributed to this kind of anxiety. But at the same time, I think we have to move forward. So I think we need to reform the existing structure, which was built for a smaller group of people, for 1 billion, for example. And now maybe 3 billion, even more people are coming into this growth. So the structure needs to be reformed, although not through revolution, maybe through incremental, but there has to be a recognition that there needs to be a reform. Secondly, I think there needs to be a right observation or judgment of what new changes are taking place. In China, we disagree, as I mentioned last night, we disagree with the belief that there is a power shifting. We don't think the world is changing along the old path of power shifting. We think there's a diffusion. In every field, there is a diffusion. So we need to see these new changes and to cope with it with a more relaxed or cooler attitude, not trying to blame each other, but to find a better way to cooperate, to find a partnership. And that was really the message I was trying to bring, and the same message I want to bring today. I think for the emerging countries, the interest of these countries is not to replace anybody or challenge anybody. All we want is to provide better conditions for our own people to improve their lives. And we will have to learn from the developed countries, from their experiences. But at the same time, we want to have the space to grow in our own way and to base our political system and our structure on our own culture, our own experience. That is, have I surpassed your time?
No, no, no. You have 4 more minutes if you want to use it. If not,
maybe we'll touch on the question. Although I answered yesterday, since you missed it, and I know you are very interested in recording me on this, I will answer your question about the Nobel Peace Prize. Personally, I was not surprised about the choice because it's been years the Norway Nobel Peace Prize Committee was always naming strange people from China. Mm-hmm. If you are Chinese, all you need to do is to do something strange against China, and then you are very likely to be nominated.
You are saying strange people.
Because look at the people they've named. People who want to divide China, who said China should be divided into 7 parts, and he was nominated. And people said some parts of China should be separated, and he was nominated. So I personally, I wasn't very surprised. But what made me and many Chinese to reflect is the response of the media of this choice, and the response of the political leaders in the Western countries, and the lack of a realization that this choice is challenging the judicial system in China. It's not showing respect to the judicial system in China. And I don't think lots of people realize that. But for China, lots of people are reflecting about the motives behind. And also, people don't understand where are the heroes in China. Could they ever be inside of the Nobel Peace Prize? The people who helped to lift poverty in China, people who helped to bring stability in China, the people who helped to solve the rice problem, for example. In China, peace, what is peace? The Chinese character peace is composed of 2 parts. One is a rice, the other side is a mouth. So throughout the history, we believe if every mouth is fed, there is peace on earth. And the guy who helped to solve the rice problem is Yuan Longping. At some stage, I even thought that maybe he could be nominated. But now I know how naive I was to think that way. But I'm not entirely losing hope. I think maybe at some stage.
One day they will learn.
Yeah, hopefully. But they did make some good choices, like Mandela. I really salute. That was a great choice. But sometimes they make terrible choices.
Yeah.